Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin T. Weller Show on True Chat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm Justin T. Weller. We are back in front of the tree this week. The tree is one of my favorite backgrounds, probably as a lot of you have figured out by now, or at least I would think so. And stray hair. Okay, anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys this week about goals. I was planning to possibly have one of two different guests, either Allie or Camden, but because of some timing stuff, it just didn't quite work out. So you'll be looking for a guest next week, and in the meantime, you're just stuck with me. Excuse me. We're off to a great start, aren't we? Brett is also going to be back on in the next couple weeks as well, so it could be any of the three next week, but you'll have somebody else to listen to next week other than just me. But I do want to talk about goals. So the importance of goals. A lot of people, probably feel that goal setting is kind of a cheesy thing or maybe not all that essential, or maybe it's just for business. And what we're looking at today is a combination of things where goal setting is a personal and professional thing that you can do that is essential. And I'm going to share with you some of my goals, things that I've either accomplished or am accomplishing, but goals can be as simple as something that Brett and I committed to do just recently, which is spend the last hour before we go to bed, because we always go to bed at the same time, before we go to bed each night, reading. So we didn't specify what it has to be that we're reading, but that we read a book, something that's not on an electronic device with no TV or the other distractions. Why did we decide to do this? One, because I think that a lot of research indicates that reading is just good for you in general. It's an active process as opposed to a passive process when you're, watching TV. So I think that is a good reason. But moreover, we chose to do it also because it's supposed to help. Again, according to a lot of research that I've read, you get a better night's sleep, and you also remember information from the day better because your mind was more actively working at things before going to bed, as opposed to being very passive. So you're more likely to infuse the knowledge in your mind, so to speak, if you read before bed. So just another benefit of it. So that's a very simple one, is every night before we go to bed, the last hour we take to just read. I've got a number of books that I'm reading right now, one of which I've shared with you guys. That I'm still working on. I have not gotten as far as I wanted to, but let me know, guys, in the comments below if you did indeed go out and purchase the book, so I can gauge demand of whether or not I keep sharing things that I read with you or not. But that's an example of a simple goal. A bigger, more professional goal I think that Brett and I collectively have is to be able, in the next 5 to 10 years, to live where we want. Making a healthy enough living that finances are not a struggle, that they're not tight. Not that they are necessarily right now, but they're not as flexible, I suppose, as we'd like them to be. I am actually accepting a new position to do some kind of consulting work with a campaign in addition to True Chat, and that'll mean nice supplementary income, but that's another example of we want to have a steady, consistent income that's flexible enough so that we can travel and do things we want in 5 to 10 years. We also are open to considering other places to live, but we've been talking about the past few weeks. We go on walks a lot, and we go see different views of Cincinnati as much as possible. We like to explore different, perspectives on our city. But how much this town, Cincinnati, has developed Brett and I as individuals, but also in our relationship. And I think that there's a lot of appreciation that we have for the city in that respect. Not that the city itself is the reason, but this place, so much has happened to both of us. So many major changes in our lives and so many developments in our lives have happened, whether that is a personal or professional development. Brett's run into a number of opportunities in his chosen field of music education, and our new office location here for True Chat is excellent. And for those of you that don't remember, I am the co-founder of TrueChat. And I know I tell you, all of you that are loyal listeners or viewers, you know this from watching every week, but TrueChat is a national media organization, and we have shows in sports, politics, pop culture, entertainment, business, lifestyle. I mean, you name it, we've pretty much got it. TrueChat.org, TrueChat.org. And you can listen to more stuff that I do. I talk about politics regularly throughout the week. I also do entertainment shows similar to this one. And we've got shows on movies and nerd-related things like video games. If you're sports fans, we have that. We have a pop culture show. Brett is on that show. And we're making more of those into video. We were exclusively a radio company, online, podcasting for the past few years. But now we are making the push into video, which is part of the reason that my show was the premiere of TrueChat on YouTube. And it's gone pretty well, as you can see. But obviously not the same listenership that we've come to enjoy with our current company. So we're developing some stuff. But another example of a professional goal, like one that I have with TrueChat, is for us to develop the network throughout the end of 2016 and 2017, and to get a secure business partnership in place for somebody to take over the business development and partnership, which is kind of like our sales division, to kind of take over that division so that I don't have to spend as much time on that, and I can spend more time on content creation like this with you guys. Another example of a personal goal that I think is probably just one that I have in particular is to always be very conscious of how Brett is doing. I have just I've read a lot about relationships. You guys probably know that one of my guilty pleasures is LGBT romance novels, especially coming of age ones. I just find it very interesting because it's relatable to me, and those I think are they're important in a lot of ways to help you understand and learn passively, or subconsciously rather, about how you want to approach relationships. And one of the things that I have observed through a lot of novels and just a lot of life experience and past relationships is that communication is huge, and that making sure your partner, whoever they are, male, female, something else, whoever they are, that checking in with them regularly, even if it's as easy as asking once a day, when you're relaxed and not right when they came home and just you're into the evening and you're trying to unwind, to just ask, how are you doing? Or are you okay? Because sometimes asking how are you doing is something that we ask so frequently in everyday conversation that people are just used to, the classic, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, or busy, or I'm doing well. But you really want to convey to them, and if you're in a good relationship, you ought to be able to, that you're actually interested. You want to know, are they okay? Are things going all right? And I asked Brett that, maybe not once a day, but pretty close to it. And I think that's a big reason that we do well, is he feels like he can tell me anything and that I can tell him anything. Even when it's stuff about each other, that's maybe not comfortable to talk about, but is things that we have to address. So, that's something else that I think is an example of a deeper personal goal than something like read, an hour before bed each night. So there's a wide range of different goals that you guys can set. And the final goal that I want to touch on, which relates more back to the premise of my show and me as a person, is I'm really working on getting back to where I was, I guess, a little while ago, which is being more comfortable in public, like holding hands with Brett, or just any, displays of affection, not necessarily kissing, but, just like arm around the shoulder, or, any sign that we're more than just friends. And I don't know, it's been very weird because I was the one that have always pushed that in the relationships I've been in and kind of lead the way. And then now Brett's at a place where he's like completely comfortable with it. And now for whatever reason, I'm not as much. So I'm working on that as well, kind of a goal that each time I think about, hey, just don't worry about it as much. And maybe that's sensitivity because of different things that have been going on recently, in our community, things that have happened. So maybe it's that, but nonetheless, it's something I'm working on. So set some goals. And it's always a good idea to write them down if you're very serious about them, or at least verbally express them to somebody else. Because if you just come up with them in your own head, it's really easy to discount them, in 24 hours. If Brett and I have a conversation and I explain, here's my goals and here's his goals, it makes them more real because you've told somebody else, and there's also an accountability factor. So think about that as well, or write them down and post them. But goals, that's what we talked about this week. And let me know what you guys want to see in upcoming videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I think that's pretty much it. Check out TrueChat, please. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, anywhere. All at Justin T. Weller. My website is coming soon so that you can interact with me there as well. I'm going to work on doing some more writing-related things so that you guys can interact with me in between videos. If you'd like to see videos more frequently, also let me know in the comment section below. And on that note, for the Justin T. Weller Show on TrueChat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm Justin T. Weller. As always, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on the Justin T. Weller Show. Be the change.